I'm sure because we always talk about it. It was my first year. Um, didn't really know what I was getting into, type of a thing. So we had been on, I think it was like June and July. We've been on a few fires, pretty easy ones, some burn shows off the road and stuff like that. And hadn't been working out a lot and stuff. And then all of a sudden we get called to NorCal and the American River Complex. And so going in, we weren't in the best of shape. Pretty easy summer so far. I was on the saw, and they're like, all right, you guys are going to put this contingency line in just in case it blows out of this or the American River Canyon. And so the first night we get down pretty far, and we turn around to go back to the buggies, and it's probably a good hour and a half walk out. And so my saw partner has a saw, and we start hiking out, and we get, I don't know, maybe a couple hundred yards up the hill, and he's like, can you take the saw? And it's my first year, so I don't want to be like, no. So I'm like, yeah, I got it. And so I take it, and he just goes off, and before I know it, I'm like in the back of the pack, just barely making it. And luckily my squad boss is like, give me that saw, and come on, Colorado, and all this stuff. So he takes the saw, and barely make it back that night to the buggy. And they're like, all right, we're just going to sleep here. And I think it was like midnight or 1, something like that. And then wake up the next morning, super dehydrated, had a quick little breakfast. And then we start hiking back down and start cutting again. And my saw partner has a saw. And so he's cutting, and I was swamping for him, so I would go bend over to pick up the swamp, puke on the swamp, and then take it back over, and then I just kept doing it over and over. And finally my saw partner's like, dude, he calls over the squad boss, says, oh, this guy, he's puking. And so they had to go sit me down. And I just remember being really disappointed in myself. It's like, man, I'm letting my saw partner down, but I'm puking and dehydrated and all this stuff. So that stuck with me for sure. And that was also the first time I've been in poison oak or anything. Turns out I'm super allergic to it. And so my legs are ballooned up, and you're waking up in the middle of the night, not even knowing that you've been scratching your legs and your arms, and they're bleeding, and you can't sleep. And that was a rough fire. I remember vividly being like, I'm not coming back next year. I'll get through this season, and I'm not coming back. But 6 years later, I'm still here. You get that itch in January. It's like, I probably better go back. So, but yeah, that was my first year, and I was like, I did not know what I was getting into at all. So that one always will stick out in my mind for sure.